to a brand new episode of Load In, Load Out, a tour story podcast produced here in Athens, Georgia, in association with Kindercore Industries. For this episode, Ryan had a chance to talk with the band 5/8. They've got a brand new double album coming out entitled Songs for St. Jude. Topics of conversation include, but are not limited to, Mike Mantione's special all-ages fireworks display at Sluggo's. We convene what's possibly the world's first reverse intervention, and the first appearance of the phrase road skin.
Hey everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Ryan. I'm usually here with Cash, and we usually do the back and forth thing, but there's a lot of, we're doing something special tonight. I don't think we've ever had a whole band, like everybody in a band here. Usually people just send the person that likes to talk. And we've already had the person from your band that likes to talk. Patrick.
Oh,
You've already
yeah.
been here. Yeah. So now we've got everybody.
There are some
sorry
other
you-
talkers in this band, you'll find out.
I'm looking forward to finding out who they are.
I'm sorry you had to go through all
It's
that.
not you.
No. I'm talking a lot right now.
Yeah, I was going to
though.
say, keep
That's
telling
what's
me about how
strange.
you're not the talker.
Yes. Believe me.
Can you go on? So anyway, this is a
silence
podcast
is fun.
called Load In, Load Out, and normally we have Cash and I have like a little song and dance we do, and not really, but like a back and forth, and I forgot to do it. So I'm here with 5/8, and I'm really
Yes.
excited. I have seen, I think I saw you guys in 1993 when I moved here.
We sucked
And-
then.
Well, I mean, I didn't really think so. I thought you were
Okay,
pretty great.
thanks.
So, yeah, no, hey, whatever. But anyway, so I'm here with everybody. I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves. Let's start here.
Hey, I'm Sean.
And you play.
Guitar.
Okay.
Still play the guitar, yes, somewhat.
Awesome. I'm Mike, and I sing and play guitar.
Okay.
I'm Dan, and I play bass.
Excellent.
And Dan sings sometimes. I'm just gonna, and singing is not really a stretch. He does sing.
And if anybody gives an answer, Mike, generally, if anybody gives an answer that you don't feel like they've completed, you can just do that. if
I'm
you
doing
want.
that.
Yeah, okay, good.
No, you can't.
Yeah, just add
No,
whatever
you
you.
can't do that.
No.
Why do you give him? Why do you give him permission?
I mean, you can do it too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I hadn't gotten to you yet.
Even
yeah.
Steven.
Yeah, everybody, even, yeah. Y'all feel free to interrupt the hell out of
Just
each other.
jump in, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then here we have.
Patrick Ferguson.
And
Yes.
he plays drums.
He does.
I do.
Yeah.
See what I did?
Good job.
Hey,
that is a good job.
I wanted to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I got the weed smoking microphone.
Well,
Oh.
I don't know that there's one of those.
Oh, there's more than one.
Probably.
Is the whole set?
Yeah, probably.
This is
they might all
fantastic.
fit
I want to
into that,
watch it
so-
smoke weed.
I mean, I hope it's not a
That's-
problem.
no, it
but-
smells like medicine.
Okay, yeah, it is.
It is.
It is. It's
Well,
dad's medicine.
Yeah.
It's from the earth. Yeah, it's God's medicine. Yeah.
So,
It's God's medicine if you like being. It's God's medicine if you like being
But
the
smell this.
Antichrist.
oh,
Let me just-
damn.
I love being the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Mine
Yeah,
smells
man, don't bugger
fine.
at that mic.
Yeah, Dan.
Boom.
Bill
I'll be here all
Fortenberry
week.
handed me the hottest cup of coffee of all time, and I'm trying not to spill it on myself.
See, it's an endurance
Right.
challenge.
Wow.
Each one of you will be getting an item throughout this interview that will make it more difficult to participate.
Can I get a cup of that hot coffee too?
You're going to
then?
get a kitten that just loves to scratch.
Oh, I met one
I didn't
of
even.
those.
Is this a new feature on your podcast?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
It's
that's
just
really
like
good.
what
Wow.
I feel like, generally it's too easy. We just kind of a couple people, we sit around and talk. It's no big deal.
Yes.
So I felt like let's try and get as many people as we can and then
Yes.
give everybody weird stuff to deal
Right.
with.
Here's
like
So,
And here you go. Here's a
Just
bowl
wait.
of fire ants.
Just wait. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Dan, that's yours.
Okay.
So get
It's a
ready.
packet of ketchup.
They taste sour, actually.
Fire
It's true.
ants?
They're just ants.
Yeah,
in general.
just ants in
They're
general. Yeah, yeah.
sour.
I'm
trying to
They're
have
quite
I feel like I
sour.
know that, but I know I haven't eaten one
Yeah.
before. Have you eaten one?
Have you watched?
Just leave it
Have
there.
you?
Have you watched that Chef's Table show
All right, no.
No.
on Netflix? There's a whole thing about mole made from crushed ants.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I know we'll get, you're
Yeah.
here, so I know we'll get to food.
Right.
Which maybe food and insects together, which will be exciting. But anyway, so 5/8, you're
Yes.
here. You guys have put out a new record or are putting out a new record. This
As
is
we
release
speak.
week, right? This
Yep.
is happening right now, right?
Right now.
Yes.
They're stocking
I
the
think so.
shelves around the world as we do this
There's-
interview, right?
Yeah. They're slaving away.
Yeah.
Is this
All
our
of
sixth or seventh record?
Seventh.
Seventh
Eighth?
record.
You haven't figured out that answer with all the interviews you've been doing?
I'm not even sure I'm right. I actually just kind of made up that.
You made that up. It's got to be 8.
Well, maybe Mike is looking up your Wikipedia
Wait,
page.
Mike is
so-
just texting someone. He's
Yeah, or
checking his
he's
email and
maybe
stuff.
he's on Wikipedia. I
I
don't know.
learned shut up. Does that count as
Give him the benefit of
first,
the doubt.
right?
Right. Well, do we? Okay.
Yeah.
What
I
are you
learned shut
counting?
up. Angriest Man.
Whoa, are you going to count
Records.
the cassettes?
Weirdo. No, I'm not counting just cassettes
Okay.
on.
Gasolina.
Yeah.
Right.
Good Nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Black Album.
Yeah.
You Guys Dead to Me Now.
I think
We're
that I don't
number
know
8.
that wasn't your record.
This is
though.
our
I think that
eighth.
was Metallica.
Yeah,
The Black
it was,
Album.
Yeah.
but it was co-write.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So you can count it as
It's
both.
really 8?
Okay, that's fair
8.
enough.
8,
All right.
but
I was
you have
right.
to
So you have
count.
somewhere between 5 and
It's
20
9.
records.
It's 9 because
It's
you
9.
have to count Weirdo Reissue because
Oh.
that really
It's
is
a different record, right?
It is a different record,
Yeah.
and it has 5 more songs on it.
Okay.
And
And it's really a cool record.
Well, let's jump.
Inflatable
Actually, I
Sense
want to ask
itself
you about
is a
that.
full length.
Okay.
Real
Oh,
quick.
cool,
Let's
yeah.
jump into that. So, like, Weirdo was an album that was very important, and I don't think I knew at the time that you guys weren't happy with it. Is that true? You were
I
not
didn't
happy with
know
the way it
either.
turned out.
No, we
you
had
didn't know
no-
either because you
No.
weren't there.
No, I was there.
Oh,
I
you
just
were?
don't. I don't.
Sean-
I stuffed my feelings.
Speaking
Brian.
of Dad's medicine, Sean was.
He was taking some of Dad's medicine.
Yeah.
he doesn't know if he's happy or not, I think,
Well,
is the real thing.
It's up to everybody to decide for themselves.
So here's a distinction that we should probably point out at this time.
Yeah.
There's a 17-minute documentary
Yes.
on the making
Okay.
and remixing of Weirdo
Yeah.
on YouTube. And
So maybe I'd get more of a straight answer by watching that.
No.
We
Is
can
that
sort
what-
of fit. This is the thing that we keep
Hold on.
stumbling across in interviews lately.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
there's also a documentary being made about the band.
Those are two separate things.
Two
Yeah.
separate things.
Okay.
It's the same filmmaker. He did
Okay.
the 17.5-minute documentary, and as he was finishing that process, he said, I think there's more of a story to tell here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you could spend more than 17
and
minutes
I
on
think
you guys.
that
I plan
he
to
may
tonight
be including part of that Weirdo thing.
into the rest of
But
it.
that's not the
Incorporating it.
title. The problem we're having is everyone keeps calling it Weirdo the documentary, and
Yeah.
it's not. It's called Disappointed but Not Surprised.
That's a great name. I
I mean,
like that.
is
real
it really?
good.
Because I like that.
That's real good.
I'm
Yeah.
actually not disappointed, and I am surprised that they went for that.
What do you think of that title?
I mean,
I think
I
he's
love
Wait,
the
are you
title.
just are you
He's
are you
making that up. Right
Oh, you're
now.
live.
He's
You're messing
He's
with us.
literally floating that right now.
Okay, so what all right. So this was a
But
trial
We
balloon.
talked about it. We
Yeah.
talked about it.
He's a
problem is-
power move is what's happening right now.
Hey, wait,
I feel like I'm
correct.
in the midst of is this a band or is this like
This is a band meeting.
intervention?
And it's an
you're
intervention.
using me. Okay, you all know this will be out on the internet though, so just be careful
Right,
about
sure.
that. But yeah,
Well,
no,
so-
I think that's a great idea. But that's a cool name. I like that, but I did not
do you
know it
think?
had
You don't
not
like
been
it?
officially endorsed. So I don't want to get on anyone's bad side if I just picked.
That-
You know,
there's
I thought
it
about
was pretty
there's
good.
just gonna
about
step
a-
back 2 steps from that.
there's about 7 people involved in the documentary, so we probably won't be able to name it tonight.
We
Right.
just
Probably
did.
not. Yeah.
So here's
We
the
just
thing.
did.
Okay.
Before we go
But
too
anyway.
far down that
yeah, sure.
diversion, there is a documentary being made. It was tentatively titled Weirdo,
Okay.
about the band 5/8.
Which would have been a good title.
Right, but there's
No,
also this other
But
documentary.
there's the album and the
No, you're
documentary.
mistaken.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
So now there's 2 records and one 17.5-minute documentary called
Okay.
Weirdo. So maybe we should
right.
refrain from
It should
So,
be called,
maybe that's
should be
done.
called Weirdo,
Yeah.
but not about
not the
the,
other
album
two.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
Another weirdo.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mike loves all these
Different
ideas.
weirdo.
He seems
Yeah.
to really like
Weirdo
these
to
ideas. That's what I
Electric
can tell
Boogaloo.
right now. But anyway,
But to answer
so,
the original question,
yes.
we made the record. We were signed to Sky Records at the time.
Okay.
It was a very at that point we were doing 200 shows a year or
Yes.
more, and we were all a little burned out
Mm-hmm.
and different. Like some of us were in bad
I was a
marriages,
lot burned out.
and one of us was
Yeah.
a lot
I
burned
don't want to
out.
brag.
Yeah,
Oh, Mr. Special over there was more burned out than everybody else.
I'm going to say this though.
wasn't
Sean
burned
probably
out at
had the
all.
most fun making that record.
For
out of
sure.
anybody. Oh yeah, no
Okay.
question
Yeah.
about it. Because he
No
worked
doubt.
with David Barbie directly, and they
Yes.
went in and did some amazing
Cool.
stuff. Just the two of them.
Yeah.
Also-
Patrick had about a week of hell.
Yeah.
Being with a fever and
4
had
days.
to-
Oh,
I trapped the
God.
drums in 4 days.
Ugh.
I had this week thing is hilarious. It never takes me longer than 4 days to cut drums for an entire record.
And then you got to be sick the
Yeah.
whole time.
I was so sick.
I was high as a kite.
So right before that, right before we went in the studio, are we going to be out about that? Can we talk about that?
I don't know.
Okay.
We're about to
Right before we
find
went in
out.
the studio. No, I mean, can we talk about that you were high as a kite. I wasn't going to say that. I was going to let you say it.
Yeah.
Well, he said
Pretty
it.
sure I
Yeah.
just did.
He just jumped right in and said
This is the
it.
first time I found out about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like a reverse intervention.
This isn't it. This really is a
This is the intervention where the band had no idea that you had a problem. And this is where you tell the band you've had a problem for years.
We're like, no,
You hope that
you
the
were fine.
No, you've been great,
You
man.
were fine.
No, guys, I was a real problem. I was a real problem.
I had literally no idea till just now.
See, both of you
I'm
guys.
not kidding.
Copycat.
It's a reverse
I'm not kidding,
intervention.
though. It's
I didn't
serious.
either.
But Patrick, but you knew.
I may have had a little problem then too.
Well,
Oh, boy.
Were you high too?
Now I'm
all right, Mike and Dan just quit the band. This is
just my whole world has been blown.
A reverse intervention is
I
where you
mean-
call all your family and friends together to tell them that you have a problem.
I mean, I could point out that. All right, but so getting back to the actual record itself, though.
Are we going to smoke
So-
a bowl while we're
Still
doing this?
spilling
Or
hot
not?
coffee on myself over here.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of Load In, Load Out. If you are, head on over to iTunes and hit us up with a review. Or join us in the corporeal world for Kindercore Vinyl's post-Pop Fest party on August 13th. We're helping wind down the pop festivities with sets from Outer Sea, Harry Carey, Black Nerd Ninja, and the Hernies. We'll have Manila Express on site vending food. Drop on by and we'll show you around the new pressing plant at 147 Fritz Bar Lane. Join us, won't you? This week, we'd like to shine a little light and love on Girls Rock Athens. Girls Rock Athens is a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering girls, women, trans, and non-binary folks of all backgrounds and abilities through music education, creation, and performance. They provide leadership opportunities, build self-esteem, and provide people of marginalized genders with a safe place to express themselves. Go to girlsrockathensga.org to learn more, donate, or volunteer. That web address again is girlsrockathensga.org.
Much worse. So anyway, we went to the studio to make a record.
Okay.
And we were we were inspired by all. We've been listening. Everyone was listening to Nirvana. You have to
course.
understand that at this time.
I do. I was there,
Yeah, in America,
and I was younger.
Yeah,
so.
everyone was listening to Nevermind.
Yeah.
We've been listening to that. We were also listening to bands like Hazel.
Oh yes, I loved Hazel.
And we loved Hazel. We
Yeah.
played some shows with them, and we were listening to bands like the Spinanes.
Oh yes.
And so we went into the studio with this intention of making the best record that we could, but we didn't have an agenda for it, but our label did.
Yeah.
We didn't know that. So at that time, you had these sort of tiers of alternative rock. You had Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana and Pearl Jam sort of at the very top of this
Yeah.
kind of food chain. And then you had all the bands that we really liked.
Right.
Sort of. And we made a record kind of for the second, group of listeners. Like,
But the label.
Yeah,
the
and
label wanted a big, shiny
the top.
rock record.
And at the time, that was, I mean, like around town and like in general, you guys were being talked about as, there were a lot of the next Nirvanas then, but you guys were one of the bands that was being talked about like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think we would have we would have
You're
ever really lived up to that hype, even if we had.
But I mean, who could? I mean, whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, it's pointless to even, right?
Yeah. Well, but the upshot of it is when we finished the record and turned the mixes into the label, they were kind of like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
And so the A&R guy from the label,
who was the owner?
who was well, no, he wasn't the owner. He was.
Oh, yeah.
There was an owner. There was someone writing checks that was unseen. There was a silent part of it that was.
I'm shocked
Yeah.
that there was a part of the music business that wasn't on the level.
Right.
I don't believe it.
Right.
Man, this is going to be a long interview. I'm blown away.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Just
Have a
one
seat.
illusion after another. We're just here to smash them all. So anyway, some shenanigans happened after the record left our hands.
Okay.
It went. A broken copy of the DAT went to a mastering lab in Atlanta where they laid this.
That's what I'd heard about. So,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So all these things happened, and the record ended up being released on CD and cassette, and I think it was post vinyl, but
Yeah.
it went
No,
out
it was
just
not vinyl.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
out of phase and weird
Yeah.
sounding, and
So like it was
treated
sort of rushed out at the last minute because there had been a
some shit-
technical problem,
chicanery.
like something
Yeah.
had messed up. But then someone wanted it to be redone, right?
Right.
So was there malicious intent, or was it just chance?
I think that it was one of the situations where, once again, a group of people who've never played music and never performed live decide that they know best what the record needs to sound like more than the band does. And so people who we didn't have any control over took over the process.
Yeah.
And they put out a record that we weren't really thrilled with the sound of.
But I think we've been over that. I really didn't know. I mean,
Well, I think we've established what you were doing.
No, I know. But in addition, we were always on the road. I mean, by the time
Right.
that record came out, we were probably
You were
well
working on
into
the next
writing
stuff.
the next one, and we were back on the road. And as it wasn't like we had some kind of audio file set up somewhere. We were
Right.
listening to it.
You were like sitting around at home going like,
with the,
oh, yeah.
with
We were
the
never
windows
home.
down.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
We were in the van.
I don't
Right.
believe that I remember it being like some kind of horrifying thing at the time.
I
I
remember
do
the
remember
moment.
not wanting to listen to it very much.
I remember
Right,
the moment.
okay.
Yeah, I was standing in a club in Valdosta, and
That's horrible.
I know.
It's starting off real bad.
Standing after sound check
It's us next week.
before the gig, and they're playing. They had back then you could do the subscription like cable radio service. I can't remember what that was called now. My brain is saying Pandora, but I know that's not right because that was way pre-internet. But you could get cable radio, and someone had gotten the alternative rock station.
Yeah.
So it was like Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And then
5'8".
and then 5/8, and like the record that was playing before us was this big, thick, heavily mastered, in phase. Imagine that, record, and then all of a sudden, "Fall Asleep" came on from the 5/8 record, and it just sounded weird
Yeah.
and out of phase.
And you were just like,
And that was
hold
one of
up,
the best
this-
mixed songs on the record, too, man.
really?
Yeah, I think it was.
And
It was
that's when
nice
I thought,
sparse. Yeah, it was,
oh, something's wrong here.
yeah.
Well, David Barbie met me on the street one day and said, "Hey, Mike," and I said, "Hey, David," and he was like, "I want to use Hurt You on my reel. I wanted to have permission," and I said,
Yeah.
"Definitely, that's a great track. I would love it." And he said,
Right.
"But I don't want to use your version of the song, Mike." And I'm like, "What do you mean our version?" And he said, "I want to use my version, the one that I actually handed into the record company.
Yeah.
That sounds really good." And I was
Right.
like, "Oh, okay." And I never really thought
You
much
didn't
about
really
it.
put the two together.
No,
That,
but
yeah.
I thought, yeah, absolutely, that sounds
Sure,
like a
why
great
not?
idea.
Yeah,
and then
it's the one
I
that
guess
sounds
what, 5 years ago, or no, 3 years ago, Patrick wrote a letter saying it's time to right a wrong. And it was like,
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, in the intervening years, I'd had several conversations because I became a producer and engineer on my own. Right?
Yeah.
And had made a couple of records and had a couple of them go really sideways, and had at some point had talked to David Barbie about it, and he said, "You want to talk about a record going sideways?" It's like, grab a cup of coffee and sit down, and
Yeah.
sort of fill me in a little bit. I mean, we didn't get the full scope of it until the documentary was made, and,
Yeah.
but I knew that there was another copy of Weirdo out there, and I knew that it sounded better.
So did David have a mix of it still, or did you guys
Yes.
go back and remix
There
it?
was
he
a
did, but it was damaged, so we couldn't use it.
So we ended up remixing
Okay.
the whole album.
Yeah.
But
And
actually,
it's awesome.
I was
mean,
going to say that's actually probably good, right?
Yeah.
Way better.
Better
But
stuff
we
to
didn't,
work
we
through.
didn't record anything new.
Yeah, okay.
like for 20 years, I thought we kind of sucked. That's how weirdo sounded. And
Right.
now it's really good.
yeah, that's awesome. That's really
And-
exciting. I mean, how many
yeah.
bands get a chance to go
Sure.
back and fix
Yeah.
something
So now
Yeah.
we're the next Nirvana.
12.
now? Yeah,
Right.
Now we
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Now.
Then the
I hear
world
they're
doesn't
not very
need it
popular anymore. So
that's what's
I don't-
weird.
Yeah,
I think one of them
exactly.
got sick or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
Never
heard
heard
about
from
it
that
much
guy.
lately.
The singer, dude. Yeah.
Separate them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot topic.
Hot topic.
But
You know
so
what?
anyway,
You know what didn't? You know what record didn't go sideways?
What?
Songs for St. Jude
no, that
Not
yeah,
yet.
yes,
Not
the new
yet.
album,
by the band 5/8.
and everyone felt good about that. And
It's
who,
fantastic.
Who are we going to find out in the coming moments?
Joel
was high the whole time.
Hastat.
High the whole time.
Oh no, nobody.
Nobody.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No. Good.
Yeah. So
Um,
yeah. Flash forward, I guess.
So now you've made an album,
Another.
the double album, sitting right in front
Well,
of me.
we didn't
on
sell that many
Beautiful.
of the last one, so we figured if you're not buying what we have, here's twice as much of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Try and make it more expensive too.
Right.
Right.
It's the longest 5/8 record.
Done and done.
But so tell me, going back to those times when you guys were a touring machine, like you were, you would blow back into
That
town.
makes it sound like
play a show.
some level of efficiency was happening, and I'd
Fair
rather-
enough. Not all machines are efficient.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's fine.
we can allow for that. But that's where I want to get into. Let's talk about some of that stuff.
Okay.
And I would like to frame it, though, by starting with the fact that I find it interesting that you guys didn't know that there were drug issues going on in the studio, did you know that they were going on the road? And was that a part of things?
I hid it.
And if not, how are you a fucking ninja?
I hid it completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You hid what completely?
Yeah, exactly.
That I was having some issues with drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Sean did too. I mean,
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah, until I found out in like the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. It didn't get really bad until a few years after Weirdo,
Okay.
like about 2.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I kept being a ninja though for
Right.
another 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You
that's,
gotta stay.
right.
You gotta stay focused when you're a drug ninja,
Yeah.
and
Try to stay one step
you have
ahead
to
of
be
everything.
committed.
Yeah.
To the practice.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I was
okay.
I was real careful to hide whatever I was doing from the band. There was only one time I played under the influence.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty impressive.
It was really terrifying.
Was it one of those situations where you're like, this was a bad idea? Why did I do this?
I didn't think we were going to play another encore.
Oh.
It was in Orlando. I walked into the backstage area and people were getting high and they were like, "You want some of this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah."
Yeah. And then you were
someone
like,
came
oh,
and
we
grabbed
got to
me and
play a
said,
song again.
Yeah, let's play "Goddamn It, Paul." And I was like, "I've played that song 1,000 times. This is going to be fun."
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Right? How did it go? Who knows?
I still have a little anxiety thinking about it now.
Well, I'm sorry to bring it back up.
Yeah.
But, well then, okay. Well, that's, we've dwelled in that little bit for a while. Let's get on the road though. Like you guys were going out, playing all the time, driving around. Around that time when people were really, you guys had this buzz and there was this sort of expectation and things like that. How was that being out on the road?
Well, 2 of them had this buzz, and 2 of us didn't. Sorry,
Fair
I keep
enough.
harping
No.
that.
No.
I had a great time touring.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but like I just remember thinking it was awesome, even though people were horribly depressed all around me.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm a little dense. I'm just,
I remember all that very fondly.
Yeah.
I
Good
was having a
times.
great time.
there was certain
I
things that
I mean, I remembered the other night we had gone out to L.A. And we got to play in Pedro with Firehose.
Oh.
yeah.
And
Wow.
when that show was done, we had hundreds of new fans.
Yeah.
And we got a bear hug from Mike Watt, and we became friends with him. And
That's
then
awesome.
Played a
For
lot of
years-
shows with him after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
A lot of
years
shows,
later.
yeah.
And had that band stayed together, they might have covered "Goddamn It, Paul."
Oh,
Because
wow.
he just loved the song.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because Firehose was they did Slack Motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
right.
That
Right.
would make me like that song. Wow. With Mike Watt going like, bang, 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 bang.
So you're not into it as it is?
I have a little problem with that, and it's because I'm a dick, and I got tired of Goddamn
Did you-
Paul in like 1992.
So you just don't want to play it
that
anymore.
anxiety
I
that
get
Patrick
it.
feels about
Okay.
it when he's
Yeah.
high, I just feel that all the time.
'Cause you're like,
Did
why are
you
we playing
hear
this
Patrick
song still?
start it? Patrick and I had a running joke the last
yeah.
show that we played where almost between every song he would just do the start
The
of
hi-hat
the drum
part.
beat.
Yeah.
I heard it.
And you had him on edge the whole time, right?
I heard it, but
I started the whole set Saturday night with one of Dan's most hated 5/8
That's true.
songs.
I don't think
I'm
anybody
like a
hates.
snob, man.
You're just not really
am.
into your band, are you?
No,
Not really.
I like
He likes about a third of the songs a lot. About a third of the songs
He's okay
pretty
with.
good with, and then there's
Yeah.
a third.
He just
the
hates.
third that are the
Yeah.
most popular songs the band does.
Okay, yeah, those
He
songs that people wanna hear.
literally loads those.
Yeah,
songs.
nobody hates more 5/8
The
songs
song-
than Dan.
The songs
true.
that all
I
my
believe that's
fans
true.
come up and
Right.
beg me to play.
Like, please play that song, and you're like,
Please-
talk to this guy.
Tell-
He hates it.
Dan hates that song, but
Yeah.
we'll try and play it. But
Yeah.
remember, look over him.
Yeah, look over at him. So
Yeah.
when those songs
That's-
happen, do you just stop playing, or you just
I
No,
just-
he just
passive
makes this
aggressive?
face
soldier
like
Yeah.
you're
through,
seeing right
man.
now.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
soldier on. I tap my little toe. And
It's
I'm
kind of like the way he lives his entire life, except that life with his cats. I think he really does like his
loves
cats.
his cats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course,
that-
I love
Not
my
a third
cat.
of
Who
the
doesn't
time.
love their cats?
Not a third of the time.
All the
though.
time.
All the time.
All the time. Yeah, no, I'm
I
with
got
you.
some good kitty cats.
But that's
I'm into-
it.
Yeah.
My cat's a fucking
That's
dick.
it with Dan. You can't go anywhere else in his life. Maybe your car. Your car?
I mean, it's ugly, but
Okay,
I like
see?
it.
Oh,
See?
oh.
Um,
What do you
Always
ha-
finding fault.
What do you have?
It's a Honda Fit.
That's what I drive, sir.
Yeah,
It's not an ugly car. No, I'm just kidding. It's whatever. I don't care.
Really
but it's a really nice, comfortable car. I like
you can
it.
fit anything.
And that's why it's called
That's
the Fit.
right. Yeah,
exactly.
I carried 2 people, an upright bass, and a PA.
Yeah.
To
I had a Vistalite drum set, my daughter in a car seat, a guitar, and a stack amp in there once.
Yeah.
For those
It
of
was
you
not
listening at
comfortable.
home who couldn't see this, for a second there, Ryan pulled his glove off, and I thought he was going to slap Dan.
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny that you say that because today we got a package in the mail of white gloves for use at the pressing plant, you know? And when Priscilla asked me why we had those, I said it was so that I could defend my honor when somebody wronged me. I could smack him in the face with the white glove.
You have insulted me.
Right on time.
Like, I felt like I just as a really, I mean, whatever, we're all over the place here, but can I just say I expected there would be a lot more slapping people in the face with gloves when I grew up and more quicksand. Both those things.
Yes, I remember.
I was overly
I'm so
prepared for
surprised
both
that
situations.
we eradicated polio and quicksand.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. But nobody
know.
gets credit for the quicksand.
No, I know.
No, we say that
Don't
now.
struggle.
Yeah,
Don't
just wait.
struggle, Ryan.
Yeah, just wait till you go out
No.
the front door.
Yeah,
We have a
don't
surprise.
Take a left. Don't take a left out the front door. Go to the right.
Oh, dangerous
You know,
snakes,
we're coming up to another one of those problems. The solar eclipse. This is very similar to quicksand.
Right.
In what way?
My mother had me hiding in a closet.
When
in
it
the
happened
70s.
before?
Oh, yeah, in
Because
the
your eyes
70s.
were gonna burn
That's
out or
right.
whatever? Yeah.
Absolutely. I had the same fear about the eclipse that I do about quicksand now.
That's great.
Another one of Mike's
So-
mom's fears
You can have
was
it in the
that
closet.
because he wore his guitar so low that he would be sterile.
And that
Seriously?
Yes.
and
You can see how that turned out.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
And-
Well,
One,
5
two,
kids.
three,
5
4,
kids
5.
later.
Yeah.
No, but she
That
was
you know
also
Still worried about it?
She was
That
also
you know of.
extremely worried about me, being aroused by guys grabbing my junk and feeling me up, and then
When did
if
that
it
happen?
felt good, I would become gay. She many, many times, Michael. If it feels good, you're gonna like it, and then you're going to be gay.
This is the first time I've heard this.
Oh yeah,
No,
it's
I
all
know.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Wow.
Before I would go out to parties.
Yeah.
Remember, don't let them touch you there.
Are you kidding?
What
No,
parties?
Oh, my God.
That explains
parties
that
were
lot
you
of-
going
No, because I went to an all-boys Catholic high school. You don't know what's going to happen.
Hanging out at the
I
restaurant.
was going to be a priest. I was saying mass down in my
Yeah.
basement.
All right,
for
now
the
it's all
summer.
starting to make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
You
now
know-
it all fits together.
She knew all the priests around town.
Right.
They were all pedophiles.
This explains that line in Mystery James.
And everything else.
And everything else.
First song on Weirdo. Suddenly it all becomes clear.
Yeah.
I was a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So she had that like in your head. She, like, got in
Quicksand.
your-
Yeah, she got that
No
Wow.
wonder you wanted that record
Quicksand
out
and
of
priests.
phase.
So whenever your
Priests.
friends came up to you, you were just like,
Solar
get away, get away, and hold your hands over your,
Just,
No.
just the priest.
I didn't.
Yeah.
You're like, bring it on. Let's see
Bring
what
it up.
happens.
Exactly. Now you're starting to get the idea.
And then he joined a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 92 to 96, 220, 200 shows a year, somewhere
Yeah.
along in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Anything weird ever happen?
As is often the case, some of our music this week is drawn from the incredible live music archive located at southernshelter.com. We suggest you go there, check out a classic local show, and donate to the cause.
Dan really thinks he knows how to play with dogs.
Okay.
Really, really well.
Super
as
well.
Good, as,
This
as
was-
well.
This was on
as
a
well
really
as he
long
plays
trip.
with kitties.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Which
he's
I've
like-
gathered he's good at.
He's excellent at.
Okay.
He shows up at this guy's house.
Oh, God.
And they're
We're not in this house. I'm saying 4 minutes.
yeah,
Arizona,
but
right?
they're Mormons.
Okay.
and they had
Okay.
2 large
Okay.
pit bulls.
They
To-
make me nervous.
Mormons with large
The
pit bulls or
Mormons.
Mormons?
No, and they
Mormons.
were
Okay, yeah.
not regular pit bulls. They were like
American
the
Bulldogs.
the
Spuds
target dog,
McKenzie dog.
whatever pit bulls.
Oh, Spuds McKenzie thing?
Yes,
That
the
kind
what-
of thing?
it's a pit bull.
They were big, dude, and they had those no neck things going on with the. I mean,
spike collar and
when he
Yeah.
dropped down on all fours
So you
to
came in
go,
with a room with a bunch of
I
cartoon
want a
dogs.
Budweiser.
and he quickly dropped on all fours.
Yes.
and went into the what Dan called the play position for
Okay.
playing
Yeah,
with dogs.
no. I hear you.
two
I know what
paws
you're
in
talking
front.
about.
Two paws in
Yeah,
front.
he put his paws out front.
Yeah.
Quickly jutted his head out, and the dog looked at him, turned its head sideways, and bit his face. Just boom. Just
Haven't
like
you
this.
seen dogs play with
It
each
was
other? That's what they
fantastic.
do.
This dog, his bite was so big that I had teeth marks down here on one jaw, and the other one
Oh
is
my
like
God!
right-
Oh my
I
God!
swear to God, he had his whole. Now, can we measure Dan's head really quickly? Because
'cause I got a long head.
his head is
He
huge.
just ended like a snake. You know, he was trying to swallow.
Yeah, he unhinged his jaw like a snake, and he was just going to swallow you whole.
He quickly stood up and looked at us.
Were you bleeding?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
No, but it wasn't like a lot of blood. It just seemed like it was just
jeez.
a drop.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Tip of his
yeah.
nose is wet from the dog's uvula. Head all the way in there, man. It's
Wow.
like a lion
That is
tamer
awesome.
trick.
And then were you like,
See,
did you jump right
but
back
Dan
in?
already had an injury on his forehead from like a week earlier. At
What was the first injury?
Chateau
The first,
Marmont.
the Chateau
Oh, the
Marmont.
Chateau Marmont.
He
Yeah.
saw a hot chick.
Okay, that's a good
Okay. And the
Dan-
same thing happened. He went down on all
Wait,
fours and she bit his face.
Kind of. Sort of.
You were there.
Yeah.
No,
room were you in?
no, not that good.
No.
Listen,
All right, so our friend Chris Benheimer is staying at the Chateau
Yeah.
Marmont. He's working with REM. He's out in Los Angeles, and we're playing in Los Angeles.
Sure.
And Chris is like, "Come by my cabin at the Chateau Marmont." I'm like, "How can you pass that up?
Right.
Maybe someone
I
will
mean,
load D
yeah.
while we're there."
Yeah.
Because it happens a lot there. Apparently.
And we didn't have any place to stay,
Right.
so
Oh, it's roasting hot outside. So we get there, and Dan's like, "I'm going to go for a swim." So he this is very battered, like the most cut off pair of cutoffs you've ever seen in your entire life, and grabs that and his towel and goes down to the pool to swim. Leaves his glasses in the room. Or no, he took his glasses with him, but he took them off, and he gets in the pool and starts to swim laps. And he looks over, and there's this really
super hot.
super
Okay.
hot
Super
woman.
hot chick.
It's
Sure.
Los Angeles, you know. She's
Yeah.
sunning herself by the pool,
Movie stars.
Yeah. Okay.
but Dan's not wearing his glasses.
so he swims quickly to the other side like a laser beam,
It's a concrete pool.
and he swims right into the pool. Full
Right
head
into the
smack.
edge, right in front of her?
Full head smack.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
stands up, and his head is covered in blood.
Now that blood is pouring out of that
And your
one.
face is wet, so of
Right.
course
Yes.
it's pouring even more. Excellent.
I don't remember it being
Just
covered
stop,
with
Dan.
blood.
It was a lot of blood. It was a lot of blood when you came back to tell
my
us the story.
God.
Some
Oh, so you
70s.
guys were...
No,
you
no.
Guys,
No,
yeah.
it's not over yet.
It was just me and the lady. And,
Okay.
I was
I'm sure
trying
it
to
went-
just,
sounds like it went
Yeah,
well.
I was trying to do like my Tarzan.
Spent a lot of time with her
thing, you
after
know?
And that's how I met your
What?
mother.
Hold on. Yes. Yep.
No, in truth, Dan puts his glasses on to see how badly hurt
She's
he is.
about 90.
And she's like 90.
No
Give or
way.
take, yeah.
Oh,
She was-
I bet you made her feel good. She was probably happy.
She didn't even notice.
She didn't notice.
She had like, I don't know, like pieces of paper.
She
on
noticed
her
about
eyes.
as much as that dog noticed him.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Wow.
And then she
So-
got up and she
Right.
just opened her mouth and
Just-
hit
just-
Dan right on the face.
Put his whole head in her mouth.
Weirdest thing.
so that was the first head injury.
That was
to
that
her.
Okay.
was
Right.
now we're up to 2 injuries.
Right,
The
but then we-
third one,
Was there another one?
yeah, the third one was at the end of the tour. We had come up with a nickname for Patrick called Pickles
Okay.
that Dan's mother gave him.
Not on purpose.
It was an
She
accident.
couldn't remember my nickname.
She was just like, give my love. I was on the phone with her.
Yeah.
She's like, give my love to Mantione. And pretend he
Pickles. And so that's what we did. We laughed like that. And by the end of the
okay,
tour,
Pickles.
we were ready to kill each other.
Yeah.
And Patrick looked at Dan and the sound guy. We had already told the sound guy, and the sound guy came where he said, Dan, don't call me Pickles anymore. Just don't call me Pickles anymore.
sound
And
guy
then
said
right
that?
there, the sound guy said, no, Dan, Patrick said to you,
Don't call me Pickles
anymore. And then right at that point, Ernie Dale goes, hey, Pickles, you want to give us a line check on those drums?
Oh my God.
And then I didn't call you Pickles.
Oh, that's right.
And then you took a broken piece of cymbal and hurled it at him.
It was a wash. It was a.
Yeah, no,
That's
it was
the
It
sound
was
guy.
a chunk
hardware,
of
yeah.
cymbal.
No, not at the sound guy. At Dan.
Oh, it
Dan.
And it hit him in the
Yeah,
head.
hit him in the
the
forehead
head.
and went boing.
And he
It
started
made
to
a little
bleed.
vagina. Oh
God.
Split
It's a
lump.
David Cronenberg movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It swells up.
Needless to say, this is the first time I've
Jesus.
said Pickles since.
Okay.
I was
yeah.
like, good
Yes.
shot.
Man.
Well, I mean, in
That's-
front of him, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
skip to Jackson, Mississippi.
No,
Okay.
no, hold on.
There's
hold on. I've decided we're going to take a slight break from Dan, and we're going to go straight to Gainesville, Florida. Mike Mantione in the front of the van, but the van is parked on a driveway where it's leaning very far back.
Yeah, but you got to remember
No, Mike, we're not
that people are scared of getting their penises stuck on stuff.
This was around that time when there
was that thing going around. What year was this? I think I must have missed
after
that.
quicksand.
It's not like today when no one's scared about getting their cock stuck.
Now everybody's like, fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's
whatever.
like not a big deal because of the internet.
Yeah, the internet.
No one gets their
So
penis stuck.
okay,
So we've been to the Itchitownee Springs, which is the big freshwater river that runs
it's fantastic.
Okay.
through. Do you know about this thing in Gainesville, Florida? There's this massive ribbon of cold water that runs through the swamp.
Okay.
And you
got
can
otters.
you walk. It's a big parking
And
lot.
snakes.
It's a national park, and you thanks Dr. Freud. So you park.
There's
Was
a
that you when you were
tunnel
worried
at
about
the
getting
end.
your
There's a
dick on?
tunnel,
Right.
And there's a train going through it.
right, yeah, right.
I wasn't worried.
And rocket ships and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Remember, I said you were worried.
Right. So
me.
you walk out of the parking lot and you get in this like ribbon of ice cold water that runs through the swamp and you float it, and so we're all in bathing suits. We have a show that night. We have to go play, and we get to
I think it was Ellen's house.
Yeah, it was Ellen's.
yeah, and she had the only like hill in Florida. She lived on top of it.
Yeah, I was
That's
going to say,
right,
you're
that's
talking
what
about being
was
parts
so
on a hill in
weird.
Gainesville.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a lot of hills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Mike decides to change clothes in the van because the perfectly good house wasn't going to be where he changed clothes.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yes, and I don't remember exactly how you.
Oh, I can tell you what happened.
Yeah, how did
You want me
that
to say
happen?
happen?
Yes.
So I'm
Say
sitting
your
there,
version.
and I have to move the seat back in the van
Because you're worried about getting your dick caught on
No.
something?
I,
Okay.
have to I got to
okay.
pull my
Should've
pants
been.
down.
Sure, okay.
So I got to get the seat back so I
Right.
have enough room to take my pants down.
Yeah.
So I reach down to the seat and I pull the clip to roll the seat back, and it just goes flying back. And
Yeah.
clips my fingers, and all four fingers just get jammed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Slam! Right
So your hand stuck under here?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it
my
looks-
God.
But
Oh,
it looks
But
like
his
With the funny
pants
part
are
is-
basically around his
my
ankles
yeah, so I
already.
had my
He's
pants
trying to
on my
change
ankles.
clothes
No one
already.
would go near him
And you're
because
screaming.
Right,
Yes.
I'm screaming, going, ah!
So Mike is it's
Everybody
like
watch!
no, I know.
I'm like,
it's
somebody
a
help me,
sweaty
somebody help me.
Italian sausage Mike, and that no one will go near. I mean, everyone just starts fleeing the van instead of helping him. It really was
run.
horrible.
Yeah.
We thought perhaps Mike had finally had the psychotic break we knew was coming.
You're like, well, it happened.
He put his
Gainesville,
pants
Florida.
down,
Here we
all of a
go.
sudden he started screaming, and we were like,
Yeah.
you know
So-
what? You're on your own, bro.
How'd you get your hand out?
Oh, they had to get behind the chair and push the chair up.
Oh, shit.
But it
I think
took a,
Dan-
you had to
I
wait
think
until
Dan
these
did.
assholes stopped laughing
I
at
think
you. and
Dan
got
no,
was
in
they
the van.
weren't laughing. Everyone
were all
was just really
terrified.
scared.
Just like, what is happening? This is so weird.
Dan was
Yeah.
like, "What's the matter, Mike? What's the matter?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Look, it's stuck. It's stuck." He's like,
Yeah,
I
it's
know it's
stuck.
stuck, but what's stuck?
What's
Mike?
it stuck
I mean,
on?
they're thinking it's my
Yeah,
dick.
it was
and
really
I'm like,
horrible.
No, please, just push the chair up.
No,
Push
but
the
no
chair
one wanted
up,
to.
please.
Right,
Like,
because
none of
we-
us are into that. Stop
Here's
trying to
the
make us
deal.
be a part
No,
of
here's
this.
the thing. Because we knew, Mike, that if we touched it and we liked it, we would turn
That's
gay.
true. Your mom got through to them.
I'm
So
serious.
there was no way I could take that chance. I'm sorry,
Dan,
friend.
Dan finally pushed the chair up, but the hand was a mess.
Man.
It was
and then you had to play a
fine.
show, right?
It was his pick hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you could use your left
Did you
hand.
just
It's like
tape a
a
pic to the stump
stranger
and
doing
just-
it.
We're
You
not
know.
talking Berkeley technique here anymore.
No. No, really?
No.
No.
Nope. I think
It's funny, every
I
time I've
think,
seen you play, you've always got it up real high, classical style. You know,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
So it was just so great. It
good.
makes me uncomfortable thinking about it now.
Well, it must have been
know why.
horrifying.
So
I mean, that must have.
and we continue on the world travels, and
Yeah.
here we are in
Bled a lot.
lovely Jackson, Mississippi.
I like that there's a lot of bleeding in your stories. These are exciting.
Well, there's no blood in this one.
Okay, well, that's fine.
It was the blood that rushed
Wait,
out,
but
of,
back-
out of Dan's head.
Okay,
Yes.
So this is Jackson, the same night
Same-
that you
same tour.
got your face bit.
no,
Or you're
so
back
this is like
again.
a.
the same loop.
Same loop, back
Yeah, it
again.
is.
It
This
was a
was-
long
I
6
think
week.
that might have been the last
Was
big
the
tour.
dog waiting
I think
for
it
you?
was the
I think
last
that's the one
really
that
big.
broke us.
It did. I think that tour almost killed us.
I got dumped on my birthday on that tour.
Oh.
See, I would.
Yeah, but that was
dumped on the
actually
road.
that was a good
Yeah,
thing.
I was in Boise,
Trust me.
Idaho. And
Oh, that was
Oh
a good time.
boy,
It's actually coincidentally where Elf Power is tonight.
Oh,
I only know that
I
because
love
Andrew and I
voices.
were
I love
messaging back and
voices.
forth
so
tonight.
are they gonna get dumped too? Is that how
Yeah,
that works?
I need to
was
call
brutal.
him. Hold on, I'll be right back. I have to break up with him. But sorry,
right.
go.
So
Yeah.
Jackson,
So
Mississippi.
Jackson, Mississippi. We're playing the Midnight Sun.
Yeah.
Midnight Sun was all. I don't think people have anything else to do in Jackson, Mississippi.
sounds reasonable.
We did well there.
Couple
We
of
did
people
really well
had
there.
something
That's what
to
I
do.
mean. Like we always packed out the Midnight Sun.
Yeah.
Even though the sound man there hated us.
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Was it his dog?
I don't know. It wasn't his dog. The dog was in Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said that was in Jackson. Never mind.
No,
No.
that's
I can't keep
we
up,
got to
guys.
this. By the time we got to Jackson, Dan had multiple
Okay,
injuries.
Head
multiple
wounds.
head wounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing about Jackson is we would play, and then the party would just move.
Right.
And
Away from
boy-
you or with you?
Sometimes-
depended. Sometimes we split up.
Okay.
Remember that guy that fell on Sean?
No.
No. But I can tell you this.
Flinghammer. The band was called Flinghammer. The guy weighed like
Oh, I do remember that.
a huge man. And so the promoter, the guy who owned the club in Jackson, Mississippi was a guy named Jack.
Yep.
I think the guy fell on you in Oxford though.
That's
Anyway, we stayed up.
Bounced all
He
the
was
way
just
to
that
Jackson.
big.
So we were all we were relatively well behaved on the road. So
There
that
weren't a
Dan
lot of,
went missing overnight.
right.
This was a big. This was a
Okay.
This was a rather big
Yeah.
deal.
Like, that's not something that normally happens. So you were like, what
Dan
the
was
fuck?
not one to go meet new female friends on the road.
At least
But
not
didn't
ones in
they
his age
say
bracket.
Something like, "Hey guys,
Yeah, no, you warned us. You were like, I'm going to
Yeah.
go with this girl.
Yes.
We've been playing pool. She wants to go to this place. It's a late night pool place.
Yeah.
Out in the middle of a cotton field somewhere.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
it
see you
was pretty
later.
much
I'll
that.
call you back later
We
when I
were
get
shocked,
back.
and we were happy for
She
him.
had breasts so large you could see them from behind her. Like if you
Yes.
were standing behind her. And that's
And
not,
you didn't have to stand behind her to see her because she was wearing things that made them
Right. She
work
was-
Right.
for her.
She was very, very provocatively dressed, and she
Okay.
wanted Dan to hang out with her. And we knew that was basically like
we
leaving
were
the,
all very happy for
yeah,
Dan.
that was like leaving the gate open when you got
There
in.
was
I
much
was happy
rejoicing.
for me."
Yeah, the dog got out and he was going somewhere.
Yeah, and you're like, that dog will come back.
Yeah.
but it was also
But
the
he didn't
time
come back.
before.
He did.
No, he didn't come back. But there were no like cell phones or anything too.
Right.
So
Oh
keep
yeah,
that
no,
in
that's.
mind.
Oh yeah, that's.
So we told him where we were staying.
I'm out for a great adventure."
Yes. See you on the morrow.
Yeah.
And they ended up at some roadhouse full of pool tables and
course.
bikers in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
In the middle of a cotton field somewhere.
That doesn't seem like a dangerous place at all.
And so she's like terrible at pool.
Okay.
But every now and then she'd hit a shot. And you remember what her battle cry was?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
She's like, she turns to me. She goes, "Dan, do not underestimate the power of titties."
What? No, she didn't.
She did. And every time she dropped one, she'd
Dan
go,
doesn't
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay.
so- Anyway,
I'm trying to think about my daughters listening to this podcast right
They
now.
probably shouldn't.
No,
I
Are
don't
we
let
live?
mine's 5.5. I don't let her watch. listen to
mine's
it, though.
24.
Okay, let her listen to it. It's fine.
No.
there's a valuable lesson to be learned in this story.
It is.
So
It's a very
It's
good
really
lesson for
interesting hearing
everybody.
Patrick tell this story because
we all
he
went.
wasn't
'Cause he wasn't
there.
there?
And I was. You know, he remembers somehow better.
Well, you told us the story in great detail.
And
we were
we
fleeing
this
the
is
scene.
the one of my favorite things that's happened in the whole time of 5/8.
Wow.
Even above most musical
I'm
things.
starting to
Oh.
like it too. Now.
I may have even
Yeah.
hinted at it the last time I was here, but I don't think
Okay.
I got into it because I thought it
Wow,
was.
it's
I wanted
stuff
Dan to
of
be able to.
legend.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Oh, it is the
Let's
best.
finish the story and see what they think. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So
Go
Why don't you
on.
let the audience decide?
So
Dan?
anyway, this girl was terrible at pool, and Dan, he's pretty good. We played pool all the time because there's nothing else to do in close between sound check and gig.
Sure.
But eventually, some of these good old boys decided that, they should play for money. And did she start the betting or did they?
Yeah, how'd that start?
Oh, I think she started the betting.
Yes.
Why don't we make this interesting? She said.
Seems like a
After-
good idea for someone who's not very good at pool.
Yes.
Yeah. And surprise, once there was money on the table, she was the best pool player.
She got a lot better.
Interesting.
It took her about 20 minutes.
Interesting.
and she
To
had
take all the money in the room.
She had at least $200.
No way.
And in Jackson, Mississippi, that's like having $1
And they
million.
were-
Right.
And there were all these pissed off.
You know how much
bikers
meth that'll
and
buy?
She got all the yeah.
She's like,
Holy.
don't worry about titty power. And she's just like,
Oh my God! You're like, I don't think
between her
this is
tits,
not
she's
flying.
like,
Right.
She's like, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
if there's anything,
let's go.
because they're all
if there's
getting.
anything people in Jackson, Mississippi love, they love being hustled
Yeah.
by a woman and a Jewish person.
Right.
They just love that. They love that.
Can I
Mr.
just,
New York
There
here?
is one detail
Yeah.
here. I didn't touch a pool cue in that bar. I was just watching.
Yeah,
Oh, you
you
didn't
think
play it
that would
all.
have saved you if they would have gotten you?
I think she knew exactly what she was
So
doing.
she was
and it
hustling them.
better that
She
I
was-
didn't interfere with
Okay.
this little
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
We're only about halfway through the story.
Oh.
So
because
she
it's
and Dan
fantastic.
fled into the night with
And there
their
were no
skins intact.
consequences.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah. And they went to her house.
Well, first in the parking lot, she gave me a little smoochie on the lips and said, "You're
Okay.
so damn cute," which is nice, you know. So like I was like, "Cool,
that was nice
This
of
is
her.
good. This is
Yeah.
nice." And we go to this house, and
She makes a bed in the living room on the floor. They don't go to her room.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
that's
I
right.
thought you were on the porch.
we might have been on the porch hanging out for a while. But we go in the house, and yeah.
And so Dan lays down with
It's
her
not. They don't go in the bedroom.
No,
They-
no,
right
First,
on the floor in the
let
living room.
Dan tell this though. He's,
Yeah.
yeah.
This
I don't
is
want him to
this
leave
is
out
the
any
part
of the
where you can
details.
take over.
This house, it looks a lot like this house, actually.
Okay.
It's weird. It's just like
That
really,
is a little weird.
yeah.
Bill,
And yeah, she's like, let's.
Bill's over there seething as he remembers the night.
She goes and gets blankets and like
a pillow.
pillows and
Yeah.
puts them on the floor of the living room. I'm thinking, okay, and I
Okay.
hear this like baby in the other room,
Fantastic.
and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I get down next to her in the bed,
And
The floor.
In the
Unquote.
bed, air
Yeah.
quotes.
Yeah.
and then I hear these footsteps.
Okay.
And this bald, middle-aged man comes out of the other room
Fantastic.
and says, "Honey, what's going on?"
Oh my God. Are you serious?
And
And she buries her
And
face in
she's-
Dan's shoulder and goes, I just want to hang out with my friend Dan.
she
Oh
said,
my God.
She said, "Just leave us alone. We're drunk."
Oh no.
At this point,
so-
Dan, though, is not drunk anymore.
Yeah, I was like suddenly.
It's like, well,
thinking,
one of us is. So,
this is not.
but this guy was kind of mild-mannered, nebbish. So what does he do? He
begs.
He just
no.
he walks back in the baby room and then he walks out again. And he's kind of scratching his head
He's holding the baby.
Oh.
at one point, yeah. And then he puts the baby back in the crib and he gets in the bed on the other side of her in the blankets.
The
with
floor
her.
bed.
Now you got to remember,
All
Dan.
right, I'm getting in.
Dan's not leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
am
at that
anywhere to
point
go
I would have been like,
because
so there's
at
two other
this
people
point,
in
it's
this house.
like
I'm
4
out.
Right.
It's 4 a.m, you know, and I'm lying in bed next
You
to
don't
her.
have a
and then
cell
her
phone.
husband
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Her husband is like on the other side of her,
Sure.
and there's like a baby somewhere, and I'm
you guys
just
just
like,
all cuddled up?
well,
Were you the little spoon?
This isn't
Yeah.
how. This isn't really how I expected this night to turn out.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah.
As soon as the sun came up, you know, which wasn't long after
I was gonna
that.
say, yeah, it probably didn't seem very long. Yeah.
I mean, that's the weird thing about the road is like rare is there anything resembling a hookup, and when
Right.
it happens,
Yeah.
you have to cram an entire relationship into one night.
Yeah.
So there's
including
there's-
meeting her husband and child.
Yeah, there's not,
First fight, right?
there's not enough.
including the legal proceedings.
Sometimes that happens, and a violent end. You know, I mean,
Oh yeah.
and there's the whole courtship.
God.
and
I mean,
Think about how many
Yeah.
times Dan nearly died that night.
Right?
Between the drunk
and how many,
driving.
also, let's
Right.
also think about how many times common sense could have told Dan that it's time to turn around and find the
I
man.
think that's my favorite thing.
You
at least
never
this-
should underestimate
this is-
the power of
titty power.
titties.
But
Yeah.
don't
So
So
underestimate
she said.
titty
Apparently,
power.
apparently, I'm
Dan flew
underestimating
that
it.
plane into the ground like Slim
Wow.
Pickens on that bomb in Dr.
Yeah,
Strangelove.
you just wrote it all the way down.
But I kind
you
of
do that
remember.
really well.
But the strange thing about it is, I remember that Dan
Found an address.
told the story the next morning when we somehow
Found it.
I found a phone and
And
I
a
looked
letter with
outside.
an address on it and called us where we were staying. He goes,
wow.
That's right.
here's the address where I'm staying. I'll be across the street on the porch.
Yeah, but it was almost like when you told the story, I don't think you necessarily realized that she was a pool hustler until you started telling the story.
hadn't
That's what I
started to
thought
come
was
together.
so...
He barely knew she was married.
Right.
Or any
When
of
he was
these
tell-
things.
like-
When he was telling the story, still it was
It
still
was
kind
still
of
like
yeah.
a missed
there was-
opportunity.
Yeah.
As he told the story, and then there was
like
this
a-
guy.
It almost happened, guys.
That's right. That's exactly it.
Something
But
went
it
wrong,
wasn't-
but it almost happened.
But it was like weird. He was gray. He really had no color left in his body, and he was like, "Hey guys, you're not gonna really believe what happened. I don't either."
Do you think it was something that I
That's
did?
just my road skin. That's my skin.
It's
my natural color.
Yeah. You go to the original Hulk color.
You did
Just-
not look
Yeah.
like your normal self.
We had to get somewhere
I
the
need-
next day.
We did have to, yeah.
I don't do good
It
without
was like
sleep.
it was
Yeah.
like
It's
it was
hard.
like when you first got on Frozen from the cave.
Yeah.
You know, when we first.
Yeah.
So we had
Fred's
to,
a caveman bass
we
player.
had like a huge drive that day too.
Yes.
Like, we had to get to Atlanta to the Cotton Club, I think.
Okay.
So we had to leave Jackson super early anyway.
Yeah.
And then like
And did you get to drive?
we're driving away from that like insanity.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like Dan came running out like he was running to the chopper in the nine.
Go.
Yeah.
He just held onto the tires and then climbed in as you were going away.
And then we were like looking for a place to get something to eat at that time of the morning. And this homeless guy like blocked us in at this diner, and Mike was driving, and he was like, I just need some money to get something to eat. And Mike was really shitty to him, like, because we were all just so exhausted.
How weird.
Right. And
Which, which also never happens on the road.
the guy like pounded like boom boom on the door of the van ominously, and then pointed at Mike and said, "Good luck."
Oh,
Oh my
damn.
God.
You remember that?
No.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
But
it
he was like, if that was like, that's like reverse instant karma.
right.
Yeah. That's intense.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
We're way
luck.
ahead of you.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's sort of the whole 5/8 story in a microcosm.
That
Yeah.
interaction.
It's fantastic.
That's really good.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, we've been playing these shows lately, and people are like, you guys are playing the best shows I've ever seen you play. Like, well, we've only been doing this like 28 years or something.
Yeah.
Like that. You know? Like, you know, maybe in 10 years we'll be able to do a decent interview.
That's true.
There's no chance of that.
Yeah, that's a good
No
point.
chance.
I mean, I
We're
have to
learning
say,
that, too.
I'm having a great time.
Okay,
I
good.
hope that you guys are enjoying yourselves because this is fantastic.
We're all getting a little bucket of shame dumped on us at some point.
I mean, and from my perspective,
it's
from over here,
obviously
it's kind of exciting to watch that. I
Yeah.
kind of like to watch that. Do we have? I mean, we want to spread it around a little bit more.
Did I
You
tell
got-
the story
you know.
about Baton Rouge? Last
Sure.
time I was here, about the time the club owner.
Oh,
What about
that's
the
good.
story when me and Dan both had nocturnal emissions on the same
great.
night?
Same
That
night.
was really
That's a
first
little-
time, first and last time.
That's
for
maybe a
me.
little
It was weird.
much for.
No, it's perfect.
No,
Whatever
it's
you wanna
it's
do.
great.
It's just natural.
It's a natural.
It's your
It's a
funeral, guys.
natural
I don't want to know
occurrence.
about it. You know, I remember the time. I remember the first time this discussion came up, and I was like,
No,
"That's
but-
okay." That's okay.
No.
Adam.
It's Dan. Tell the story. Because
You've been trying to stop them
Well, I
from telling
was
this story
dreaming about
forever.
the RCA rep. She
Ruth
was
Richards.
tall and good
That's
looking.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that story is amazing because the dream that Dan had about her was.
This was Oxford, Mississippi, on the top of the. We were in a horse barn. We were staying in a horse barn. What? We're Oxford, Mississippi, top of a horse barn. The horses were underneath us, and both me and Dan I'd never had a nocturnal admission ever,
And neither did
Dan.
And they
And
both
that
realized it in the van the next day. It
Your
was
mom was
really
right,
weird.
Mike.
night. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Your mom
And
was right.
And it wasn't just who was the lady that brought us to that place. Virginia was her name. I can't remember her name.
No, she's.
You know who I'm talking
yeah,
about.
Yeah, no. Or
And she was not.
Yeah,
She was a very nice woman.
right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Sure.
she was very, very.
It's a very
pretty girl.
respectable way of.
Maybe
Yes.
it was the
She was
horses.
awesome.
So what
Could have
happened
been
in
the
the-
horses.
Right.
What happened in
Got
the
you
dream,
off.
Dan?
Yeah.
But everything was
Well, I
above
don't-
board. So
you know,
Dan used to have this series of dreams he would tell us about, and they were all so Freudian that we were all like, "Really, Dan?"
Yeah.
So in the dream with the woman from RCA, who was absolutely amazing, Really, really attractive, super competent, wicked smart. One of the first people to figure out the record industry was dying and go into real estate.
Okay.
like smart lady.
Yeah.
I think she's out in L.A. now, but Dan, she came to see us in Austin. And was a big fan of the band and was trying to get us signed to RCA. We fucked that up, though. Oh, boy. We did? Just briefly detour to that. Yeah, so she was not the head of A&R for RCA. Peter Lubin was. Peter Lubin, we came back to Austin so Peter could see us there. And he took us to dinner at the Austin Steakhouse that was like the hoity. Probably spent $1,000 on the meal.
Jesus.
And we proceeded.
And he was ready to charge it right back to you.
To be incredibly shitty to this guy.
Really?
And we were so burnt on human beings and each other and rock and roll and opportunity at that point.
At the time, it just seemed perfectly normal to us.
Right. To be just absolutely like,
just be unbearable.
Biggest.
We were such assholes to him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Years later, I was woke up in the middle of the night in probably 2001. Woke up in the middle of the night and thought, oh my God, we were so horrible to Peter Lubin. But I actually, early days of the internet, tracked him down and apologized.
Really?
And he was like, I don't remember anything about that except that every time I hear the name 5'8", I think, what a bunch of dicks.
So you weren't even your asshole behavior didn't even leave an impression on him about what it was. It was just that man, fuck those guys.
We were shitty enough to him that if I was him, I would have been like, I'm just going to drink my way through this and go back to Los Angeles to my beautiful house and never think about this band again.
Sure.
And I remember everything that was said. I don't want to get into it here because it's too embarrassing about what horrible people we were then. It's really bad.
Yeah.
The guy's he easily spent $600-700 on that meal minimum.
Wow.
And we were just brats.
Yeah.
But that's where we were at. We had this very weird false dichotomy in our heads of what it meant to be banned on a label. You're supposed to hate your label because labels are all the man. They're suits, they're dicks, and they have to be exploited.
So you need them in one way, but you also hate them.
Right, which is sort of, we're all, I think everybody on this side of the couch was working out that same relationship with their parents.
Right, sure. Yeah,
by putting record labels in the same position in
Been
their
there.
heads. But years later, I hunted Peter Lubin down to apologize.
My parents will never recoup all that money.
Yeah. Are your parents trying to get
They will
10%
never
of everything
recoup that.
you do?
Yeah, it's going to have to be a complete write-off.
So anyway, Ruth Richards was the woman who... Also, we had a really great knack for throwing shows whenever there was anybody important in the audience.
That's a classic band, Yeah. It's your big chance.
Yeah, and we'd always fuck it up.
Okay.
But Ruth, Danny had this dream about Ruth where... Were you riding her on horseback or something? It was some incredibly Freudian dream.
She was with me in the horse barn. That's for sure. Up in the loft.
Weren't you guys trying to get an airplane to crank? Like there was a...
Jesus. You were trying to get an oil derrick to start pumping oil?
No, it was an oil pressure thing, like in the dream.
Like a fuse on fireworks.
Contact.
He was climbing a really tall building.
Right. So after
Puts like a hot dog in and out of a bun.
after Dan had a shower, he's told us the dream, and we were all like, really? That's the most Freudian thing I've ever heard, and I can't remember exactly what it was now.
No, I don't remember either.
I'm really
remember
excited
there was
about
something
having
like sex at the end, though. Which
Yeah,
was
but
awesome.
it was just
Apparently.
that both of them, this was a discussion in the van, and they both realized that they had these nocturnal dreams at the same time for the first and last time in their entire lives.
I mean, for me, it was the last time. I never had another one. What about you, Mike?
Me either.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's not weird.
I think Dan,
Something special about
one
that
of you
barn.
guys, was it Mike?
That was a hell of a
Big
barn.
time.
Well,
Yeah.
that whole thing in Oxford was crazy. This wasn't Jackson; it was Oxford.
Okay.
Because that girl lived outside of Oxford in that house that she rented from another woman, and there were all these other women writers. There was this community of female writers, wicked smart women, all incredibly beautiful, both physically and in their sort of manifestation as these incredibly talented, smart people who were studying how to be writers at that college in Oxford. And we
should tour Oxford again now that you say
so we
this.
played there, and they liked
we were
us.
there
go try and look 'em
2
up.
years ago.
Took us out to their little commune town in the middle of nowhere,
That's right.
Mississippi, and there was a lot of tension.
Tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of smart, attractive women.
Just-
and four
yeah.
completely...
And a bunch of ding dongs trying to
ding
impress them all.
dong. Yeah. Right. And we all slept...
That's a technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to
It's
use
why we
jargon,
got
but-
into being in a band.
Right. And we failed miserably at every turn.
Every
at
time.
being cool guys.
Every
Oh,
time.
that's so good.
Right. I slept on a couch and these guys slept
Let's
in the hay
ask
barn.
each
and-
other how we got our wives, though.
Yeah.
Man, my wife had nothing to do with rock and roll when I met her. Like, that was the most... She's never seen me play.
She had never seen you play at
I think
the time?
she saw me with one band one time.
Yeah.
She thought I was a drug dealer.
I do remember she
Oh,
told
no
me that.
wonder she
yeah.
liked you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's why she
No.
didn't kiss me for a year.
She wouldn't talk to you. Yeah. And then, but then she found out you weren't.
Yes. Some friends of mine in Chicago. She had moved up to Chicago.
Yeah.
So Ryan and I know the story. Maybe you guys don't. But when I was in that sort of weird, like Louis C.K. describes it, after you get divorced, you're stuck in a time machine. You're moving into the future, but at actual like real time. So we just- and I was in that weird place when I met her, and I had like 3 like do nothing jobs. I was doing a little bit of IT work for a big famous band here in town, and I was painting houses and drawing unemployment. And she said, "What do you do for a living?"
Sell drugs.
And I said, "I do a lot of things." And she
Yeah.
was like,
Uh-huh.
drug dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you didn't say
Pharmacy-
construction, because from where I'm from in New Jersey, we know what construction means. I'm a New Jersey mob. You guys know, right?
Yeah.
If somebody says they're in construction.
That's what I'm in.
Yeah, see?
Mike's in
I know. No
construction,
wonder you say
yeah.
that all the time. That's
I
right.
used to be in construction.
Just front. You guys actually run the mob here.
You know, when Pepinos came here, I was the carpenter working with Curtis from Pylon. We went down there and we're like, "Hey, if you guys need any help building this place out," and they were like, "We brought some guys down from New Jersey. We got it covered."
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the most like we walked out of there going, "That's some mob stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on in
Uh-huh. Yeah. All kinds of stuff fell off the backs of trucks when I was a kid,
there." Yeah.
growing up in New Jersey. Where'd you get that fancy thing? Oh, fell off the back of the truck.
Things
But,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah, trucks hit
Anyway.
bumps.
Yeah, they do. Yep. Things happen. Be ashamed if something happened to it, right?
So let's.
So
Really
anyway,
would. So let's go to Sluggos in Pensacola.
okay.
another
Shall
Which
we?
one? Which,
We
there's
played-
a
so-
couple of slugger stories I
Right.
got.
Briefly,
One
Sluggos.
involved a bet.
I never told that story into a
So
microphone.
this is a perfect time.
yeah.
Although it wasn't a bet, except Mike thinks it was.
we
But you're still mad about it after all
well,
these
we still
years.
haven't paid.
Oh.
He's the
I
mad
paid.
one about this.
I paid because it was a bet.
Oh.
Anyway,
And you guys are gentlemen of low character who have not lived up to your end of the
Really,
bet.
you're just finding that out.
so
I don't remember betting anything.
we made so much money at Sluggos for years that we would go down there and play 2 or 3 nights. And this time we went down and we played like a Thursday and a Friday, and then we did an all ages show
That's
on a
right.
Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah.
For the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
For the kids.
For the kids.
Remember that.
So one of the
that's like a
nights,
called foreshadowing.
Okay.
Ryan.
Yeah.
actually, I have another really funny story about Sluggos I'm going to briefly tell because it's the most frightened I've ever been waking up in my entire life.
Oh, I'm excited.
I dated a girl at Sluggos for a while, and
You dated a girl named Sluggos for a
it's,
while?
I dated a girl at Pensacola.
Oh, okay.
I met her at Sluggos.
Okay.
I would go down there and stay longer because I didn't have anything going on back here. I was a single guy, and
Sure.
and one time we had a tour end at Sluggos, and then like the way that we toured, then our next tour started 8 days later,
Right.
in Fort Lauderdale.
Just don't come back and pick you up.
Right. Well, I had friends in there who wanted to come to the Fort Lauderdale show, or I guess maybe it was it's St. Pete, and so I was like,
Okay.
I'll stay in at Pensacola for a week and go to the beach and hang out and drink coffee and
Yeah. Coffee.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah.
We believe you, Patrick.
Yeah.
You're in construction.
I believe the coffee part.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, the coffee
That's
part
consistent.
is
fair.
realistic.
Yeah.
That has
So-
the ring of truth.
I met a girl there, and we ended up becoming. It was a thing we had for a while, and when I would come back to Sluggos, I would go stay with her. And then one time we were supposed to leave town, and these guys were supposed to meet me at Sluggos, and I had stayed up all night hanging out and partying with this girl, and I was super late,
okay.
and they were absolutely
These guys.
furious at me.
These guys on the couch
Right,
here.
yeah. And they had gone back
We
out
are
to-
taskmasters.
Before cell phones.
before cell phones.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could not call and say, I'm running late. We just woke up.
Right.
I just showed up an hour or so after.
Ooh.
And I think there was some miscommunication about the time I was supposed to be there,
Yeah.
too. So as far as they were concerned, I was 3 hours late or whatever it was.
But like when you're on the road and you're not there and it's not a band reason or a health reason,
Right. That's unacceptable. And that's one of the few times that I ever did that to everybody. It made them wait for me for a long time, unlike some people in the band. So 2 years later...
The last 5/8 interview.
It really is. This band is breaking
Just
up
keep
before
going, 'cause
your
I mean,
eyes.
Because I got it all recorded.
That's okay, my
Mike's
attorney's
starting
gonna be
another
in
band
touch.
by text
Yeah.
right now. He's texting other people to ask if
Right.
they want to start a band.
I'm just a kid to you, but you have the soul of some man that I always wanted to know better than I possibly can. Held hostage by some vanity fantasy plan, but with my fingernails stuck into your arms, I tried to claim from someone naive as I am. Your voice had that sagging kind of sad.
So 2 years later, I have met and married my first wife, and it's like our first anniversary. And we
So you
had
say,
played
honey,
it-
I know this place called Sluggos.
Wait, no.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
her band was playing at Sluggos,
Okay.
and 5/8 was playing somewhere in Alabama at a festival in the afternoon. And we drove.
Yes.
We played that show. We drove back to see.
We're all supposed to meet.
Right.
Right.
So we
Okay.
drove back to Sluggos to see her band play because we had a show the next day at an outdoor festival in Pensacola. So we drive back so we can play, but we go straight to Sluggos so I can see her play. And these guys are like, "We're tired. It's been a long day. We're going to go out to the same place that they had stayed the last time I had stood them up."
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah.
And they go all the way out there. My ex-wife's band did not have a good show.
Okay.
They were frustrated. They came on stage and they started drinking really hard. So basically, I ended up driving them and all their equipment and all our equipment
Yes.
because, someone else drove their equipment. I drove our van. I had all the equipment, and those guys rode out with someone else out to Perdido Key where they would stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Who we just saw.
Sistemi,
Yeah.
who was at our show last night.
Weird.
So, or last week, the night before last. We go to this, my friend Jay's, he's at the warehouse. He's got a big warehouse performance space. And I actually have like bedrolls and sleeping bags. And everyone's a little, I basically poured my ex-wife into a sleeping bag, and I go to set an alarm because our show is at like 2:40 or it's at 3:40. And I have to be there at 3 o'clock at the absolute latest.
Mm-hmm. And you have all the gear.
I have all the equipment. And I lay down to go to sleep. And like I have a little travel alarm. This is before cell phones.
Yeah.
Pull the stem out, set the alarm, plenty of time to get to the show, and then close my eyes and wake up almost instantly. It feels like no time has passed.
Oh, I know those things. Yeah.
Broad daylight.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute silence in the warehouse. And I think, what time is it? And I look at the clock. And it's 3:30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet they weren't irritated at all.
10 minutes before we're supposed to start playing.
And you're the drummer and have all the equipment.
Yes.
Okay.
And I leap to my feet, and my heart is. You hear that expression? Your heart's in your mouth.
Yeah.
I could not actually make a sound.
You're
with
just
my
like,
mouth because my heart was beating so hard,
Yeah.
and I have to pee so bad. So I run to the toilet and I'm peeing as fast
Right.
as I can.
The hurry pee. You're like, come on, pee faster. What's wrong with you?
Then I run back and I'm grabbing people as I run and shaking them and telling them what's happening, but
Yeah.
I'm shouting it like
They're like, we don't care. We're not in that band.
Yeah, right. And everyone's like blisteringly hungover.
Yeah.
You know, and so I like pull my pants on and I grab a shirt and I look at my watch and my watch says, "Oh my God, it's 6:30 at night!" Like I missed the show by 3 hours, and I take 2 more steps and I'm like, "How can it be 6:30?" And in the meantime, I'm hearing people like waking up with headaches behind me, like,
Yeah.
what happened? Who's yelling? You know.
What language are they speaking?
And I realized that what has happened is that it was at 3:30 in the morning, I pull the stem out on the travel alarm and stopped the clock. It's actually 6:30 in the morning.
In the morning.
I've been asleep for 3 hours.
So you can go back to bed.
I'm
No,
surprised
that
I
ship
slept.
has already sailed.
Yeah. I didn't think I was ever going to sleep again after that.
Right.
Oh, my God.
It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we ended up, the one guy who I shook the hardest, and I went and got breakfast.
It's like, well, I'm not going back either. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh God, I still I've got a sweat now thinking about how I was.
That's some stress, man.
Well, I mean,
Wake up
not
feeling
only
that,
did I
like-
think I had blown the gig for the band, but I thought I had stood them up in Pensacola a second time.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It was the extra added
Yeah, that would have been bad.
emotional ass kicking I was giving myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your Sluggo story?
Well, there's two more, so we should tell the fire extinguisher.
No, that's the last because I was out of the band at that point.
Okay.
Oh.
So let's go to
The fire.
the
story.
infamous.
Yeah. So our friend at Perdido Key, Sis, we'd stay at her house, and we played a show. We were out there in the middle of the night, and we were shooting fireworks into the bay there. And there was some Roman candles. But I don't think we shot any Roman candles that night, but Dan told this story about his brother being at a comedy festival in Montreal or Toronto?
Montreal.
Montreal Comedy Festival, where there were two British comedians, one of whom told jokes, while the other one, who was clad in a three-piece suit from the waist up and naked from the waist down, except for garter socks and dress shoes, and a Roman candle stuck in his rectum.
Okay.
And he was running around.
It's British humor. It's
Yeah,
It's a dry humor.
Right.
Is that what that is?
Running around the auditorium with this flaming Roman candle hanging out of his ass, and every time I would shoot another fireball, he'd jump up in the air and make this like Daffy Duck noise. And
Okay.
I got all the details right?
It's good enough.
Yeah.
I think he might have been naked.
You painted a picture.
Completely naked?
Well, maybe I don't know.
I remember there
but-
being a suit involved.
Yeah,
I like Tigger's version better.
I like
Sorry,
your version
Patrick's-
better too. But I do
into it.
remember him striding across the stage, bottomless,
With a Roman candle.
facing the audience. They don't know about the Roman candle yet.
Oh.
I'm just saying. By now, I assume you've noticed. I have extremely large testicles. And it was true. I mean, they were just okay. That's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
little part of it.
So,
Okay.
So anyway, Dan tells the story. We all laugh, and then Mike says, "I do that,"
That's right.
and everyone else said, "The fuck you would."
Skip to my divorce trial. Let's go. Let's stop the story.
that's
Let me-
okay.
let me-
You're
wait,
jumping
let me-
ahead,
let me-
though.
Let me.
because
No,
you're
no, we
skipping the
need
whole
this.
gig,
Okay.
man.
No, hold on. And let's figure
Oh, you
out
don't
how to
think I
tell
should
this
do it?
most effectively.
Right.
Yeah, you tell. Okay.
So
There's a little more before that.
right. So anyway, Mike says, "I do that for $10," and I'm like, "I'm in," and
Yeah.
I'm like reaching for a Roman candle. He's like, "I'm not going to do it tonight." And I'm like, "Oh fuck you."
Yeah.
I'm going to bed. That's enough
Right.
bullshit out of you
Yeah.
for one
Yeah,
night.
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
This is over.
Right, because I was ready to see it, man.
good day.
Yeah, I
No
said
wonder.
good day, sir. Put my glove back in my pocket,
Yeah. Yeah.
and,
And $10 at this time was like $50,000.
oh yeah, we were low.
Yeah.
we were
This
so
is
like a
poor.
lot.
You
It's
guys
a
are,
lot
this
of
is
money.
when you were
That's
touring
a
in the
lot of money, man. I
1700s.
think I must already This part of the story is news to me. So
Okay.
No wonder I thought there was no bet. I don't think I was there.
Yeah.
You might
Wow,
not
really?
have been
You're
there.
still
I think-
trying to think of a way to get out of paying.
Right.
Yeah, he
That's right.
really
And I
doesn't
think
want to
I
pay
have.
$10.
It's pretty effective.
It was only 5.
So
Wow, and he's-
yeah, it was $5. That's right. It was $5.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so
That's
we-
right. No, the whole question was whether
Right.
it was 5
Each.
in total or 5 each.
Nice. Okay.
That's the difference between $5 and $15, which
Yeah.
meant dinner.
Right at that time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the
And-
1700s.
Yeah, well, what
And-
is that
Large
exchange
dinner.
rate? You could have bought a castle or
That's
something.
right. And sundries.
Get your son
Yeah,
five.
some sundries. Yeah, yeah.
Perhaps a snack out.
So
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
all go to bed. Roman,
Okay.
Roman candle forgotten.
Okay.
Next day we play an all ages show at Sluggo's. It's absolutely
For
sold
the
out.
kids.
For the kids.
There was like 40 people there.
Yeah.
There was a ton of people there.
They
'Cause
were
it's,
little.
It's
Dan.
key to the story that there was a gazillion people there.
You just
but-
couldn't see them. They were all so short.
Exactly.
Right.
There was
Yeah.
literally no one there. And what was so great about the story is like, there's nobody there. Maybe
Literally?
7 people. Packed. No way. There's nobody there. I take this Roman candle. I've got a long
Wait,
black shirt on.
Hold on.
I got a
We're
long,
playing a show.
Yeah.
We played an entire fucking show. We're on the last song of the encore, and Mike just puts his guitar down and walks off stage.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
during
I
the
look-
guitar solo.
Right, during the
Oh,
guitar
good
solo.
timing.
Right, so I look
Yeah.
over at Sean, and Sean's like, I don't know, and reaches over and turns his amp all the way up, and he starts taking a solo. The song, as I recall, was
Can't stand it anymore.
by the Velvet Underground.
Yes.
And we're slamming our way through the last bit of that, and all of a sudden, Mike's back.
Okay.
No
It's good
pants.
to see him.
No pants.
He's
Yeah.
wearing his Converse One Stars and a T-shirt.
High tops.
Wait, so you had to? But that means you had to take your pants off and put your shoes back on, right?
He fucking did
Correct.
it. Yes.
Wow, I'm impressed.
And
that took
he's-
some time.
You don't want to be
standing there-
barefoot
No,
and
it
sluggos.
they came right off.
I'm with you.
They
I might
came
prefer
off.
to wear
I
pants.
didn't have to
Safety
take them
first.
off.
So Mike is making full, deep eye contact with me, staring at me as I'm playing the drums with his hands behind his back. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then, you're not going to see this in radio land, I'm afraid, but both hands come out from behind his back at the same time. And his one hand is a lighter. And the other hand is a great big fucking Roman candle.
For the kids.
For the
Right.
kids.
For the kids.
For the 7 people that are there.
Right.
For the 7 kids.
There were kids.
There were no
So you were
kids.
playing a daycare
There
center.
were kids.
There were no kids.
You
There
lied.
were no
Mike.
kids.
There were kids.
Certainly.
No, there
And
wasn't.
at least one
there
of
was
those
one
kids-
guy had a leather jacket. That's all.
That
That
was
was
a
actually
kid.
3 kids on
And-
top
yeah, it
of
was
each
3
other in a
kids
leather
on
jacket.
top of each other.
I
And
remember
the-
it being
That's how they
very
got in.
crowded.
Yes,
Because-
I remember it was a room full of kids with cancer.
No.
And this is what Mike did. This
there
is
were
what
no
Mike did
kids.
to them.
Oh God!
Right. So Mike lights this thing, and then he's kind of looking at it, flipping it back and forth. And
I didn't know
realized
what to do. I
it's
didn't know
hard
what
to
to
figure
do.
first time
out.
in my
So
life.
I had it. I was about to take the firing end.
business
Put that in
end.
your butt.
No, because I thought you light it on the bottom and
Oh.
it shoots at the top.
No.
So I was about to shove it up my ass.
And so
I
I'm
would have
shouting,
blown.
no! And it stopped.
Now we're
Just
still
shy.
playing the song.
The song's going on.
You're trying to play and scream at him to not do
Yeah,
this.
I play and scream at Mike.
Well, you don't
all
want to
the time.
disappoint
Yeah, okay.
the
This
kids.
happens all the time.
Yeah, don't let him down.
So just
They
as
wanted to show.
he has a moment where he thinks, oh, that would probably hurt.
yeah.
So he gets it turned around the right way, saving us a trip to the emergency room, and then boop, puts it up in his service entrance, grabs his guitar, dimes his Fender Twin, and begins to shred the solo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really happening. That thing's pointing right at my head.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Then I go to this. I go to the microphone and I'm like, "Eat my flaming hot," and then I turn around and start shooting it
Like
at
some
the
kind
audience.
of crazy
Eye
honeybee.
level at these kids.
Right.
There's no kids and people.
Mike has conveniently forgotten that this
There
was
weren't any children
there
there,
was
so they all
no
passed
one
it
there.
down.
Keep in mind that
There was
Sluggos
7
is
people
just
there.
a fire trap. It
Right.
just is.
There's
there was
carpet
like
on the
one
floor.
Because
exit.
it wasn't our
There's
fire
no-
extinguisher show.
Oh Jesus.
There's carpet on the floor. There's like
There's one
person
exit.
left.
Okay.
And
At
I
this point,
I
yeah,
hit
you're
him.
d- uh-huh.
I hit him in his leather jacket like twice.
Kids are diving for cover.
Mike, you said there's
flames are
nobody
shooting
there.
out his ass.
Children are jumping out the windows.
There were so many people there that were partying like wheat in a storm.
Yeah.
Like they were dodging these things. They were swerving in every direction. And
Hold on.
yeah.
No,
So anyway,
I don't want to see. Don't ruin this for me.
no.
Do not ruin this.
Do you
for
have
me.
a picture of it?
No, but I do.
There
have
is
somebody
film
who can
somewhere.
help me out.
You know what was the grossest part about that for me, though? We played another song, and Mike is standing there playing his guitar
with his
and-
junk out.
and but out of his anus
Yeah.
is this blue.
The smoking
it's an
husk of a-
applicator. It comes with this. It was a blue plastic applicator. It was still just hanging out his ass, just like at a droopy angle, just like. And I'm just like, God, this is
Yeah.
actually really grossing
You're
me
like,
out.
That's
So anyway,
unsanitary.
That's
Yeah.
not.
Flash forward to Mike's custody battle many years later.
yes.
Oh, you were not.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we're going there.
Oh, we're
Okay,
going
let's
there.
do it.
The first 5 minutes, in the first 5 minutes of the trial, I've been preparing for years for this fight. This is a fight to the death.
Okay.
It took 8 hours. I won, so we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Okay.
But before I win, I've got a high-powered lawyer, and I've gone over every possible thing in my life, except
Except the Roman candle.
except 5/8. I've never
Oh.
talked to her about the band I play in.
Yeah.
Your lawyer. You
Well,
just
there's
never
no
mentioned
need.
it.
The
Why
5/8
mention it?
played
The thing
such
that
a very
I've-
little
Years
part in
of
Mike's
shoes-
life.
Right.
It's like-
the thing that I've done most with my life. Let's
Right.
just not mention
She
that.
doesn't really have any information on that.
Years of shows where Mike would take his clothes off because the show wasn't going well, and he thought that might save it.
It
Years
didn't.
of that.
Yeah.
It didn't.
No.
Plenty of film of us playing with Mike with no
Stark
clothes on.
naked.
There's
Okay.
a picture on inside one of the records that we like 5/8, the new 7-inch, and there's a picture of Mike with no clothes on. You know,
Yeah.
No,
the new
the-
7-inch. I
what-
see
no,
that.
No,
7 inches
that's
is total
That
exaggeration.
7 inches. I don't want to say anything, but that's the inside jacket of Weirdo.
yeah,
It's the inside jacket of Weirdo. the
Right.
shitty version.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
You
none
didn't
of
do
this
an
is
updated picture for the reissue? You should have
So-
done the same thing, had him
No,
pose
we
in the same way.
No.
So
we
Mike's
should've.
on the
We could've.
stand,
Okay.
This is good.
and his ex-wife's attorney says, "Mr. Mantiani, is it correct that you're
No. Let's. Dan was called as a witness.
All right, Dan is called as a
Dan
witness.
was
What?
called as
Yeah,
a witness.
Dan is
This
a witness.
was a
He's
seriously
out.
contentious divorce.
Yeah,
then.
he's been subpoenaed.
Holy shit.
He basically put on
Yes.
a
This is good.
suit he bought from, I'd say, the Goodwill,
Potter's house,
to
I
be
think.
nice. He has not shaved.
Yeah, exactly. Where the hell else are any of us going to
He's
get a
like-
suit from?
he's-
We're in bands.
His hair is soaking wet, and it looks like it's been greased down.
Okay.
And
Wasn't it like a green suit and one of your ties that you used?
It was
like
one
a
of my
novelty
ties.
tie.
It was in.
Yeah.
It was one of my ties that I used to play in, and it's got the same stains in from the sweat. And he's got a tie. It's a maroon tie, green, and so he's out there.
I
And my
was
lawyer
looking
looks
good.
at me.
Yeah,
She's like,
sounds like you
my
were like
lawyer-
a waterlogged Kermit the Frog.
Yes.
Yes. My lawyer looks at me. She's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's my friend Dan. He's the bass player." She's like, "That's Dan Horowitz,
Mr.
And, like,
Hicks, they subpoena me.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the first question out of the lawyer's mouth is, "Did you play in 5/8?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then he's like, "Can you please spell that?" And I'm like, "Yes, FIVIEIGHIT." And everyone's like looking at me like I'm out of my mind because
Mike
I'm
can't-
starting to sweat. I can't spell. I'm
So
like,
there's the thing.
F-I
Dan is not in the courtroom.
3 times.
He's in the airlock because that's what they do, right?
Yeah,
they
right.
So,
So he can't hear
Mike
what's going on.
knows
Yeah.
that on the other side of the door
is truth.
Is the
It's
rest
truth.
of his life.
'Cause Dan
Because Dan, if you know
cannot
anything
tell a
about Dan,
lie.
it
don't
is
lie.
physically
Yeah.
impossible for
But
Dan
that's
to
why
lie.
you need me
if
in
he
the court.
starts
Right,
to think
right.
about lying,
Yeah.
sweat jumps out of his upper lip.
It's
So
wild.
it's gonna. So I know anything I say, I'm done with.
Right.
Right.
I'm freaking.
Yeah.
And I've got daddy for a trial. The judge is like old man.
Oh, boy.
He's a mommy judge. It's like Judge Gaines. Yo. You come from New York? Y'all come from New York? So the guy's
New
like,
York City.
he's like, he's looking at me, but he's not really paying attention yet. So I misspell the name 3 times in a row.
Okay.
And I finally get it right, and the lawyer's like, he's just.
Oh, he's like, this is
he's
good.
like, this is great. He's like,
Yeah.
do you need a glass of water? Are
Oh,
you
boy.
feeling nervous? I'm like, yeah, y'all have a glass of water. Then he's like, have you ever played naked? And I'm like, well, no. And he's like,
Define naked.
yeah. So I'm like,
right.
So no,
Had
I
some
had my
shoes on.
shoes on, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Have you
Yeah.
ever played in women's dresses?" I'm like, "Yes." Have
Yeah.
you ever played?
Custody battle now.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Have, Is
For
this
the
your
kids.
album cover? He takes
Yeah,
Weirdo
literally
out.
for the kids.
He takes Weirdo out, shows the judge Weirdo.
Okay.
So Weirdo's got the picture of me naked
Okay.
on it. So I'm like, okay, yeah.
Now he
yeah.
has the judge's attention.
And
Yeah.
now the judge
Yeah.
has spun around in his chair.
What?
Looking right down at me. And I'm starting to sweat bullets. And he comes right in and he's like, on blah, blah, blah date, did you play at a club and fire a bottle rocket out of your anus? And I'm like, no, I did not. And he's like, do you mean to tell me that you weren't completely naked with a bottle rocket and you had fired it at the audience? And I'm like, now everyone's looking at me. My ex-father-in-law is there. There's people from the paper. There's like
Imagine being the bailiff.
I'm just like the
you just went
bailiff
for a
there.
normal day at work.
Oh my God. Yeah,
This
right.
is like 5
Yeah.
minutes into the trial. It's
Yeah.
not even 9
Stenographer.
o'clock yet.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Go on.
I'm like, no, I did not. I did not. And
Yeah.
he's like,
Let me remind you,
let me
Mr.
remind
Mantiani,
you, Mr.
that you were under oath.
I'm like, no, I did not. It wasn't a bottle rocket.
Yeah, you're like-
it was a Roman candle.
Actually, didn't the judge ask you to clarify, Mr. Mantiani? Let me remind you that you're under oath. And he's like, actually, Your Honor, it was a Roman candle.
It was no, the judge never said anything.
You didn't? Okay.
No, it was the lawyer. But
Jeez.
the bail,
really
everybody
good.
in the car, everyone laughed.
But you,
Everyone
but
laughed.
you
And
did.
then
I did not laugh.
You did not laugh. You were no.
Everyone else
yeah.
was
I
laughing.
bet you were.
Because of that, they never called me in. But I
you
would
never
have
even had to
said the
come
same
in.
thing.
You were all
Because
dressed
I was
up, and you
trained.
never had to come
yes,
in.
no. And then they were
You know
like,
who else wasn't
Mr.
laughing?
Horowitz.
Mike's attorney.
Yeah, I bet your attorney was like, dude,
attorney-
what the fuck?
My attorney was like this. She had her head straight up, and by the end of that little exchange,
Yeah.
her head was crooked like this. She had her hand on her face.
It's just like,
you know that? Yeah, exactly. You know they tell you never use body language like this.
Yeah, just
Never
melting
put-
into your hand. Oh,
When you're
God.
in a job interview, don't do this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you're in court trying to win a case, probably don't do that either.
This
Right?
is a good sign.
Yeah. What does it mean when the lawyer's head is in their hands?
So we might want to end on a high note, and I kind of have to get out of here.
Do we have
Yeah.
a high note?
Yeah.
That just happened.
You guys got a high note?
Anyway, so we've been playing together for about 25 years, and it's been completely normal the whole time.
Yeah.
No, everything's cool.
This has been a
Well,
goddamn
everything's
blast.
cool.
But you got to remember that we went through all that stuff, and somehow we wound up 3 years ago putting together Weirdo again.
Yeah.
Just like having like an epiphany in front of the mixing board with Dave Demese, David Barbie, listening to playbacks of
Yeah.
Hurt You, going, this is okay.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and somehow we all became friends again.
Like,
I mean,
right?
really.
Yes.
And we're
Yeah.
playing like the best shows we've ever played.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
no
much
question.
more.
By
I'm
far.
really much more excited about the new songs.
That's awesome.
And the new record.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, and I do say with total sincerity that I think we are a much better band now than we were.
I think you
back
guys sound better
then.
live than when I saw
Thank
you back then. I mean,
back then
you
when
know.
I had a busted head and dog bites.
Right, your
you know,
face
how
was
could
being
I
chewed
be
off
better?
regularly.
Look how uninjured I am today. All my
I
injuries
know it's
are like,
pristine. I love it.
they're all internal.
internal injuries.
I think what's great
No,
is
I
that
mean,
when
you guys
I came,
are absolutely like I mean, you know, you've always been kind of a powerhouse, but I feel like it's the difference between being the crazy thing that you kind of are like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah,
to
put
being
that
like,
away
holy-
for yeah,
You know,
like we
so that's a
actually
really-
just want to rock.
we got our meds adjusted.
There's a really succinct description that I just gave.
And
Yeah,
I need to.
no, I agree
Yeah,
because the
but, you know.
Michigas is going to come through. You don't have
Yeah.
to make it happen.
Right.
You know, it's just there.
The power is.
Yeah.
But I
behind
will
it all.
say that we did the record locally with people that turned out to be absolute geniuses.
Yeah.
Like Mike Albanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike
Joel,
Gray.
That's that man.
Joel
Joel's great.
Hastat
Yeah.
Yep.
mastered it, and it's
Yeah.
just I
Those
could
dudes are
not
awesome.
be.
If
happy
only there'd
with
been a
those
local
guys.
pressing plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
Well, they
little
waited,
irritated
like,
about that.
a couple months. Next one, right?
Yeah,
We
oh,
got
for
it.
sure. Without a
Next
doubt.
one will be 3 records, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just going to keep adding another record each
Sandinista.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I
you're
got
just going
two-
to,
I got
no,
two-
but each time you'll just release the previous 2 records again, just add another one to it.
Right.
Yes.
So,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, this time
It's a running box
we'll have a
set.
documentary about.
There are a couple of things we do need to redo on this one. I got.
You guys ready to go back?
It'll be our version of November Rain.
That's great.
Well, this has been awesome, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much for coming. This was a
fantastic.
really good time.
Thanks.
I
Yeah.
hate for this to end.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Do you want to know
congratulations
about
on,
gigs or anything? Is that
Yeah, you guys got some shows? You
well?
got some
Yeah,
stuff?
this Friday night. No, Saturday night.
When's this gonna? When are you
July
gonna broadcast?
29th.
Fast as we can. I'm not sure, but this week probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So July 29th, we're playing a benefit for an organization that clears landmines that the United States Army placed
Yeah.
in Vietnam.
Yeah, that's great. What's
It's
the
called
organization?
Project Renew, and
Okay.
so it's their 5th annual benefit, and it's actually just like a yard party at a house in
Yeah.
5 Points, and it's totally open to the public, and they're going
Cool.
to try and raise money. They're going to have a low country boil,
Wow.
and Kate Morrissey band is playing like around 7 or something,
Okay.
and we're playing from 8:30 to 10,
Okay.
and we have to bring a PA. And
Yeah. They
don't
one of
even
my
know that.
PA speakers is broken.
Yeah. So
I
here's
tell
the
you.
thing.
Are you asking to borrow a PA right now?
Yes, we are.
So at 58.com,
If
We don't
anyone
have
out
one
there
yet.
in Radio
We
Land,
don't have one yet.
I haven't memorized the address of the party, but it's at 58.com and click the tab
Okay.
for tour.
And
our-
58.com is a new
I know
website.
the address.
Yes,
It
just
is.
finished that website.
Built by a
yours
talented
truly,
web engineer
Patrick.
on
Yeah,
the rise here.
Yeah.
The address is 520 Middledge Circle, and there's
Oh.
a house with a big peace sign on the roof. And
Okay.
also, this Thursday, we're going to Adult Swim, and we're playing over there.
No way.
yeah, in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Very cool. Like
Yeah.
on their live stream thing or whatever.
Yes.
That's cool.
Correct.
Is that live?
Awesome.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So this Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we have to be over there.
Cool. That's awesome.
So those are 2 things this
Yeah.
week.
That's fantastic.
And we're going down to Florida in
That's right, back
August.
to Florida, not
Back to
Pensacola.
Tampa.
Yeah.
We're doing Tampa and
Tampa.
Valdosta. We're going to be in
Okay.
Valdosta.
Yeah,
so,
after
you
we
know.
just besmirched Valdosta earlier.
Yeah, I'm
Good
going
luck.
to totally smirch him.
Good luck. guys.
foreshadowing. Yes.
Well, yeah, thank you guys. This was
Thank you,
awesome.
Rob. Thank
58.com, right? That's
Yeah.
where people find you.
Yeah.
And the new
Yeah.
album is out.
Yes, it is
But
out.
It's out? Okay.
It's out.
It is not. It will not actually be officially released.
Well, it's not.
Yes.
It's not
No.
actually out.
It's not.
We
It's
just like to
out.
say that it's out.
Not right this moment. I mean, I have my hand on 2 copies of it right now. It physically exists.
Right.
Is that what you call it? Okay.
I hear that it's going to be out July 28th.
That's what I call that a
July
hand.
28th.
Yeah.
July 28th.
July 28th.
It'll be out
28th.
July 28th.
That's Friday night.
Yes, it is.
Good.
Yeah.
Shabbos.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Load In, Load Out, a tour story podcast produced by me, Bill Fortenberry. Our hosts are Ryan Lewis and Cash Carter. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter at Load In, Load Out. Review us on iTunes if you get a chance. We'll be back next time with Mariah Parker, also known as Lingua Franca. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.